Give us a few of the kind of metrics, as you say, about what WTM this year, how many exhibitors, any new countries, that kind of thing.
Okay, well, we've got 4,866 companies exhibiting at World Travel Market from 182 countries. And we are anticipating as close to 50,000 industry professionals from all over the world coming to do business under the roof of World Travel Market.
And I think last year there was £1.425 billion worth of business done, excuse me. Any estimate for this year?
Well, the interesting thing is, because last year when we achieved £1.4 billion worth of business, that was a record for World Travel Market. And then we surveyed our Meridian Club buyers, who are the key drivers and shapers from a buying perspective within the industry, and 90% of them anticipated doing more business this year, which, given the economic climate and the backdrop that we're all dealing with, is tremendously encouraging. But I suppose what World Travel Market does offer people is the opportunity to do business face to face. I mean, we're all sort of disparate all over the world, and what World Travel Market manages to do is bring everybody together and do that face to face connection, and I think that makes a difference.
And you said this morning that the first time in your 25 years in the business that people are tending to regard holidays as something of a luxury rather than a necessity now. Do you not think that's, well, it doesn't bode well really for kind of WTM line this year or next year, does it? In the sense that surely less business is going to be done.
Well, no, I don't necessarily take that view, Gary. I mean, I think it's a shame. I mean, to be saying after 25 years in the industry that people are really deciding whether to have a holiday or not have a holiday is definitely a new departure. And I think it's reflective of the economic climate that we've got. And it's reflective of the uncertainty people have within their own household budgets, the uncertainty of employment and everything else. But the overall prospects for travel and tourism are extremely good, and even if the Eurozone, the States and the UK is having a hard time, you see phenomenal growth and growth potential coming out of the BRICS economies. The level of inbound and potential outbound tourism for those destinations bodes well for the rest of the world. So I think if you take a global perspective as an industry, we've got a lot to be thankful for, and what we have to do is work on weathering the storm.
Presumably taking that global perspective is the reason why you're expanding the visions sessions. Can you tell us something about that?
Well, strategically, World Travel Market has access to a global marketplace in all industry sectors, and to be able to take that knowledge and expertise to other parts of the world that are looking to broaden their perspectives, their understandings, it's just about working in partnership. So it's identifying markets where there is genuine real potential, but they also want to learn from other parts of the travel and tourism industry. And World Travel Market is probably quite uniquely positioned to be able to do that, because we're a broad church. We look after the global travel industry, all destinations across the world, but also all industry sectors. So we can pull together programs, engaging industry experts from all over, and able to bring those to other destinations so as everybody can learn from one another.
And any other countries you're looking at? I think it's China and Russia you've gone into this year.
That's right.
Any others you're looking at? Maybe you mentioned the BRIC countries, South America perhaps?
Yeah, no, absolutely. What we will do is look to expand that programme, assuming it continues to be successful and people are receptive to it, into other markets. So, Brazil is an obvious potential. South Africa will be a potential. But we have to work in partnership with the local regional area as well, and so we will be looking to identify potential markets to enable us to do that effectively.
I gather you're a big fan of social media, and particularly you mentioned Africa this morning, that mobile technology is going to be the big driver there rather than the kind of legacy landline technology we have here. Any thoughts on that?
Well, I must admit, I mean, whilst I'm not really of the social media age, I've got children that do absolutely engage with Facebook and everything else, but what it does, being a marketeer by nature, just really opens my eyes to the sheer potential of it. And it's the personalisation that can be created through social media if you want to engage with it at that level. It's the customer service that can be brought to it. It's the business transactions that can go through it. But you have to structure it and resource it appropriately. I think it's got huge dynamic potential. It also has risks and dangers associated with it, so the whole thing has to be managed as effectively as you can. But what I found very exciting about the trends report that came out of Africa was really, for the first time, we talk about Africa being the dark continent, but here was a sector in which Africa absolutely, out of its sheer structure, is potentially driving the development of mobile technology, because it's the kind of technology that Africa can engage with, and that could open it up tremendously.
Have you got any insider tips on whether the industry might be changed by the way the economy's been going, like the different kinds of holidays we might take, the different kinds of approaches we might take when thinking about holidays, and are you seeing some of those already coming through at the fair here?
Yeah, well, I would say that there were three particular areas that I can see some growth and development in. Most of them won't be surprises. The first would be in terms of self-catering. So I think there's a growth in self-catering. I think encouragingly, there's a growth in camping and caravanning. And I think that's actually really great for the family community. I mean, France has always been really good at running, effective camping holidays, and I think the rest of Europe can actually develop that, and it's great that I can see it happening here in the UK. And the other area, which again I think is driven by market requirement, is the growth and development of the all-inclusive, because I think when people book a holiday, they really want to know that actually that's what their holiday is going to cost them, and that there's no hidden extras, or the Cokes by the swimming pool for the kids are going to suddenly add another £10 a Coke onto their bill. So the development and growth of the all-exclusive is again a trend that's coming out at present.
In many ways that's a throwback, isn't it? I remember my aunties back in the 70s always want to know exactly what their money was going towards, and that they wouldn't be surprised by any hidden extras or hidden prices might pop up an alarm bell. So that's, in a way, that's kind of coming back again.
It is, and I think it's just symptomatic of the economic climate that we're in. And I think we have a responsibility to respond to that. We have a responsibility as the industry to respond. But even as a holidaymaker myself, we all have a family budget, and you end up having to, manage your choices based on that. And if the travel and tourism industry can offer a breadth of choice and opportunity, then you're more likely to be able to take that holiday. So we have to be flexible in how we do it. Okay.
And if things like self-catering are on the rise, are other sectors of the market are they experiencing a bit of a fall? Like, for instance, the more extensive adventure holiday type packages, or travel, backpacking, that kind of area?
No, I think the backpacking, youth tourism, adventure tourism, activity tourism, I think they're all doing pretty well at present. And as well, the luxury market. So I wouldn't say that, it's probably more certain destinations that are suffering at present. You look at what's happened to the world recently, and the development of the Arab Spring, and so it's going to take time for destinations like Tunisia and Egypt to return to the previous levels of tourism that they had. But they're marketing themselves aggressively, and they're welcoming those tourists back, and have got different opportunities now to offer the holidaymaker.
Yeah, and obviously over the past year, we've seen on the news stories the ash cloud with companies going bust, and people and holidaymakers stranded at various destinations, and it hasn't been a great year in terms of news stories for the travel industry, has it? So is there a feeling of a period of retrenchment going on, do you think?
I genuinely believe that the travel and tourism industry is really resilient, and so it gets knocked, as you've mentioned, ash clouds, the Arab Spring, natural disasters, but even the Japanese tourism industry is recovering now. Thailand.
So it actually doesn't take long for things to bounce back.
No, the best example I can say of that is that if you look back to 9/11, and we were running World Travel Market 2.5 months after 9/11, and that was the biggest shock ever to the travel and tourism industry. But it rebuilt, it got confidence. Coming to World Travel Market genuinely helped. and it recovered remarkably quickly, and that will continue to be the case.
Yeah.